hope you're doing well.
Heidi-ho.
No frenetic stress or anything in the world right now. We're all just going to grab our earlobes and go woosah.
Right.
Woosah.
So,
We have a couple of
we have
announcements.
a few things to cover today.
Yes.
The first thing I'd like to talk about, I think, is the energy, right? You can feel the anxiety. It's palpable, right? People are very, very connected to understanding that what happens in this election is going to be profound to our lives. And I think people are really concerned. So what I'd like to say about it first is vote, right? Vote as if your life and the world depends on your vote, and make it count.
Please.
And if you know somebody who has so much anxiety they can't manage to get themselves to the polls, take them.
Take them. Hold their hand if necessary.
Do your best so that you know you've done your best.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The other thing that I'd like to say about that is, again, I look at astrology and we look at something we've called empirical evidence, which says that when this happened, this was the result, and we watched and this happened again, and we had a similar result, and this happened again, and we had a similar result. So there's no reason not to have the expectation that we would have a similar result. So the astrology that we have involving Uranus, Al Ghul, and some of these pressures that we're all feeling, we had in 1776. So there was a great conflict and a great disturbance.
Yes.
And people felt like it was going to shift the world, and it kind of did. But for the most part, if you weren't Native American, it worked out okay.
Good overcame tyranny. We still have a terrible debt to the First Nations people.
Right.
We really do.
Then we had this configuration again, and we had a civil war, and that worked out for the good of people. Then we had this configuration again, and we had World War II. That was pretty much a world event and worked out for the good of the people. So yes, we are facing probably a really intense cycle that's going to probably last between now and a bit into 2025. That's what the astrology calls for.
There will be a challenge.
But there is no reason for us to feel defeated or so worried that we feed a result that we don't want.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right?
Worrying is manifestation in reverse. You understand?
We should expect the empirical evidence shows that it will be okay.
Good will win the day.
So we're going to spend a little time today focusing on peace and working on ways to relieve stress, because I know these next 48, 72 hours,
people are just going to be,
or even a little further than that, depending, are going to be really intense.
Nail biting.
I will come out and say that my prediction is that Kamala Harris is going to come out somewhere around 360 or just above in electoral college votes. So that's not quite a Reagan landslide, but it's just a little bit over Obama's big win. So I really do feel it's going to be okay, but it's not over yet. And if you haven't voted, please do. And if you know people who haven't voted, please get them to the polls. This needs to be
Can't sit
huge.
this one out. You can't sit this one out. It matters, people. It matters, you know? And the choice couldn't be clearer, in our opinion.
All right. The next thing we have to talk about is a very sad loss to the craft. There's this wonderful high priestess named Lisa Ann, who passed away. They found out this morning that she passed away unexpectedly. And she was a person who, we've lost a craft library, is what we've lost.
When an elder dies, a library dies.
A library dies. So when you are a good high priestess, it's a lot of work. You are like a druid. You are the counsel, the peacemaker, the lawmaker, the judge, the healer,
The mother.
The father. So you're very much like the druid, the keeper of words and stories and all that kind of stuff. When you're a good high priestess, you're also a high magician, and you help people to make their magic and manifest things, and you help with very complicated concepts, and you learn all kinds of things that go along with high magic, sacred geometry and magic squares and all those kind of things, Kabbalah. And when you're a good high priestess, you're a really excellent witch, and you know how magic works, and you know how to heal and how to connect to things and how to be part of that thread of tradition. And Lisa Ann leaves a huge community of wonderful witches that she has.
A wonderful legacy.
Yeah, that she has been blessed to have served.
So, those who are remembered live.
Those who are remembered live.
Hail the traveller. Okay, Harry. Well, should we see who's joined us now?
Yeah.
We just
been a morning.
come straight in and ignored everybody, but we wanted to do our bit of housekeeping. So let's see where we're at, and it's this way, isn't it? Oh my goodness gracious me! All right, well apparently there's a ton of people here. We have hello Sean, hello Cass, hello Savannah, Wendy, Laura, Logan, Shana, Helena, Kimberly, Tracy, Anne Marie, Helena, and yes, hail the traveller, those who I remembered live. Thank you, Sean. All right, well, hello everybody. Welcome. Apologies in advance. You may already have been besieged by them. We have no ability to control advertising on our channel anymore. YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, removed the ability for me to suspend adverts during a live broadcast, and we'll stick them in wherever they want. In fact, probably find they'll stick an advert in on top of an advert at some point. So we get like a minuscule income from that. And when I say minuscule,
Pennies.
we're talking hundredths of a penny. Is it worth the disruption, we ask ourselves?
I don't know.
I don't know. But
if you don't play their game, then
they don't show you to anybody.
That's right.
That's right.
If you don't play their game, they bury you. So it's
That's right.
It's what you have to do.
So you folks can help us be less of a well-kept secret by sharing the links to our broadcasts and our podcast. We've got some fantastic stuff coming up, coming down the pipe, some wonderful things.
All right, well, first
Lisa's
let's talk
gonna
about
tell you all about that.
the Mari Lloyd.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we have been working, a lot of us have been working on getting the Mari finishing touches done, and costumes and regalia for the ostler and different players. So we are offering that if you want to carpool, you can come to the shop on the 16th by 5 o'clock. Or you could meet us at Bad Seed Cider at 6 o'clock. It's on Bailey's Gap Road in Highland. Bad Seed Cider, 6 o'clock on the 16th. We do have some parts for some people. Of course, we would be giving them to our regular people in the community before we'd give them to strangers who have no idea what's going on.
It's could be a bit of like, what the hell am I doing now?
and at this point, the full moon for the 15th, the night before, is full. It will be indoors. We can only fit 24 participants. I do have a waiting list. There are a few people on there. So if people bow out and they think, well, they can't do both nights, you know, they can't come to the full moon and wake the Mari and then go the next night to the celebration, the wassail, and then many people are also involved in the tarot class that's going to go on the day after.
Oh.
So I may get some seats for the waiting list. I may not. I don't know.
It's interesting times. No. You've been sneezing all morning. I think the leaf mold is off the chart, really, isn't it? So what are you going to do?
And we have our mugs ready. They're so cute.
They are.
And I think so far we have just over 30 people who have confirmed from our community that they're going to go to Bad Seed, or participate on the little paradey thing at the shop. So if you want to come and you want to bring somebody with you, that's absolutely acceptable. At 6:30, we'll shut the door and do the play and the wassail. And we have...
oh my goodness, we got lots going on.
There's a food truck that night. We're going to try to do a tombola and some raffles. We have door prizes.
Yes.
And our bakist is making some Welsh cakes to sell.
Yes, indeed.
So it should be fun.
Yes.
So we're really looking forward to that.
Apparently there's two varieties of Welsh cakes. Barabreath.
Alcoholic and non-alcoholic.
One's going to be just safe and the other one's going to be quite high octane by all accounts.
She's been soaking fruit in rum for a few days. Yeah.
So there you go. That'll be... it's
just a wild week ahead.
It's just insanely insane. Love to know if you can let us know, because at some point we ordered 200 lanyards. We have made 72 memorial little mugs, and your entry for $20 gets you the lanyard, the mug, a door prize, and one fill of whatever you want in the mug. It could be, if you're teetotal, you can have water, or you can have non-alcoholic cider. They make a beautiful one, don't they? It's really, really yummy. I know that. If we know we're going to have more than 72 people who really...
We'll order more mugs.
We'll order more mugs because we've got enough lanyards to do them, and we'll just get busy. So
Savannah,
let us know when you can.
They said they have Wi-Fi we can hook up to, so we will be able to take credit cards.
Yes, we will.
Now, obviously, we would rather have cash because then the credit card company doesn't get any money from us. But because we are a 501c3, it's
we get a preferable
a little more respectable than what they take out of the shop's totals.
Yes, indeed.
But yes, we will be able to take credit cards on the night, but cash is always preferred. So there'll be, obviously you can't do the credit card for the 50-50 raffle. That has to be cash.
Yeah.
But you could be able to buy your tombola tickets, buy your entry, and Welsh cakes, that kind of thing. You could do all those other things by credit card if you wanted to. And I'm sure that Bad Seed takes credit cards at the bar for drinks.
I think most bars, you just leave them a card behind the bar kind of thing, don't you?
If you're running my card at the bar, come on.
Well, I think that's what bars do, but
maybe
I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I don't run
You're
the tap room. I haven't got a clue.
All right, so
that's the first one. That's the Mary Lloyd.
That's the Mary
Lloyd wassail.
Then I did want to talk a little bit about our amazing coup with Phoenix Flames and the guests that we're going to be having.
A whole lineup of authors. Right? Incredible.
So I know we talked a little bit about this last time, but I'm going to talk about it today and probably next week. Open Road Homeschool.
It's Doris Jean. Hello, Doris Jean.
All right. So our first guest is going to be Rachel Patterson on the 18th. So this show is going to be featuring UK authors for November and December, starting on the 18th. I don't know if we'll end up pulling cards or not, but it certainly is a huge treat to be able to ask questions of these authors. So, you certainly wouldn't be asking them psychic questions necessarily, but you can ask them, questions regarding their work or craft questions. So the first guest is going to be Rachel Patterson, and she recently came out with a book called Hedge Witch, but she has been on the path, like us, 30-something years. You can research her, Rachel Patterson, author, and you can see some of the books that she's written. And we will be getting these books from England, from Phoenix Flames. Then on the 24th, we have Jonathan Argentino, who recently published a book called Sigils for Magic, Technique, and Transformation. So that's someone that you might want to ask some advice of how to do workings from. We have not confirmed our guest for the 3rd, but it is possible that that would be Moira Hodgkinson, but we don't have that confirmation yet. But she wrote Living Witchcraft and Katie the Hunter and the Magic Star, which is, I think, a children's book.
Also Operation
Cone of Power.
Power.
So then on the 9th, we have Marion Pierce, who wrote Celtic Sacrifice, Pre-Christian Ritual and Religion. And she also wrote a book about the Roman calendar and how things moved from one way of thinking to another.
She's a very knowledgeable historian, believe me. Yeah. She's.
And then on December 16th, so that was Marion Pierce was the 9th. December 16th is Philip Heselton, who wrote Operation Cone of Power with Moira, and he wrote Wiccan Roots, and he wrote In Search of the New Forest Coven, and he wrote Witchfather, Volume 1 and 2, and he wrote Doreen Valiente's biography that's called Witch. So if you have any questions about Gerald or you have any questions about Doreen, he would be the person to be petitioning those questions to. And
he is one of probably the 2 most prominent craft historians, without doubt.
Yeah,
without
Ronald
doubt,
Hutton
being the
up
other.
there, yeah. And then on the 23rd of December, our Yuletide treat is Janet Farr and Gavin Bone. So Janet and Gavin will be with us on the 23rd, and we're working on getting them to come and do workshops in May of 2025. We don't have confirmed dates yet, and we're just putting that out.
It's up in the air.
That's something we've always tried to provide really excellent teachers and connections to craft people. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Jess.
So we would love to have Janet and Gavin come, and
They're
then obviously the fall of next year we have Christopher Hughes and Ian are going to be here.
First time I met Janet, she smacked my arse.
She's lovely.
It's just such a character.
The first time I met Janet was a profound turning point in my craft life. So
you received suitable guidance.
I received some
Quite
suitable
literally.
guidance and a great support system. So I'm really pleased to be able to host them if that works out. So I'm hoping that works out.
From your lips to the goddess's
ears.
There you go. Hopefully everybody's
So-
well enough and great enough to travel, and that'd be the
So
good
you
thing.
know how we're all spiritually open and empathic. I would not consider myself an empath.
I think that's a curse.
I would say that if I were truly an empath, I would probably have died from it now.
That's what I mean. It's a curse.
Right?
It's a curse.
So it's interesting because I think it's a Hindu philosophy that says when you pass into other, you take with you all of the joy and all of the sorrow that you had
created in this world, I guess. Brought to this world, whatever you want
And you
to say.
hope that the good outweighs the bad, so your journey will be blissful.
Isn't it the whole Egyptian thing of weighing the heart against a feather kind of thing? Same thing there,
So when we look at what's going on in the world right now, things are pretty intense. and there's unrest and war in many places,
Massive amount of suffering and oppression.
There's disease and suffering and starving and homelessness and
terrible climate events.
And if you were really an empath, I would wonder how you would be out of bed.
You'd be gibbering probably in a corner somewhere.
And then we have the stress again of this election season, and people have lost friends and been estranged from family, and there's just this huge ugliness.
Ugliness is the right word. We're better than that,
right?
Aren't we?
I finally gave up on trying to communicate with a very close friend that I've known since I was young. I had posted about, obviously abortion rights, and their husband said to me, well, I'm not worried about that. It's not going to happen in New York. And I said, oh, you could believe that if you want, but what about the rest of the United States? What about the women in the rest of the United States? You don't care about other women? And they wrote back profanities and called me a communist for those views. So there's an ugliness. There is a sincere ugliness.
Surely sounds like somebody I want to spend time with.
Right. And this last week of display of ugliness has been incredible. It was not, again, lost on me that he announced his candidacy in Waco and then
time to flush
that
the turd.
Lovely Madison Square Garden thing. But there have been things to try to lift people up and balance that out. If anybody's had a chance to look at the new Bon Jovi song.
Oh, that was quite touching, really,
that
wasn't
was really lovely. I posted that.
It's about inclusivity, isn't that what the whole
and,
basis of the United States is about?
We the people.
Yeah.
So I think that if we are feeling like we have those empathic tendencies as spiritual people, and there has been a tremendous amount of pressure and loss, and many people have had an incredibly difficult year, personally, community, family, globally. It has been an incredibly difficult year. So the coming of the Celtic New Year, which is Thursday, 15 degrees Scorpio.
We follow the cross quarters
The
in our own private practice,
and then
so to speak.
Just had this new moon in Scorpio, and then we're going to have this cross quarter in Scorpio, and there's going to be this, revision, release. So instead of us focusing on the stress and the pressure and the what ifs, it would be much better if we focused on peace,
Love
and
understanding,
power to the people in positive ways.
Absolutely. I hear what you're saying, Logan, but it's in a way, it's like trying to reason with a drunk person. It's not possible because they don't have the capacity. When somebody's drunk, they don't have the capacity to reason, but they don't realise they're horribly drunk also. So it's, it's tricky. Maybe the best thing to say is just go home, you're drunk, But there is a kind of energy which has fed on itself and become this
negative energy feeds much quicker.
It does, doesn't it?
It just gobbles and it gobbles and it threatens, and it fear is the opposite of love.
It is.
But this negative energy
It
that's
comes
trying
from fear.
to sow fear and
But fear comes from lack of understanding. It really does. So, I mean, can we help people understand? Sometimes, your gestures, it's hard to be angry at a smile, isn't it? Do you know what I mean by that? It's when somebody embraces you with warmth. Do you hate that person? Love is the strongest force in the universe. It is the only thing capable of turning an enemy into a friend. It really is. Yeah, it may not happen overnight. But throwing more hatred into the mix only gives you more hatred.
This same person that I was talking about, the discussion one of the last things they said to me was, "I'm really worried about you. I don't want you to be on the wrong side of this." And I wrote back, "I wish you only peace." But that statement
is inherently threatening,
is
isn't
threatening,
it?
right?
Isn't it threatening?
So they want to sow this thought of there'll be a retaliation. You should be afraid. If you're not with us and you're against us, we're going to murder you.
Your enemy, the people. Yeah.
So
no.
we cannot feed that. I cannot, in my heart of hearts, believe that there are going to be people murdering other people for this maniacal orange weirdo,
Most people have got self-control, but there are the occasional lunatics who are capable of acts
Yes,
of
but
stochastic
I don't think we need to
terrorism,
be living in fear.
Yeah, we need
I
not.
think we need to fill ourselves with peace and fill ourselves with light and fill ourselves with the wisdom to know better, right? That kind of thing. What do you got here?
Yeah, I cover myself in a light bubble and continue to share my love. Never forget you can choose to bring your energy to the room instead of running from what's already in there. Absolutely.
Right.
Never forget who you are. Never.
Which is our powerful people.
Incredibly so. And, love will overcome. It will. Love of our country, love of our fellow citizens, it will overcome. It has to, It is the strongest force.
So as an empath, if you pick up on a wave of this sadness, stress, hatred, ill will, whatever it is that you pick up on that wave, take a deep breath and say, stop. I release this energy. And either release it from heart center or let it move down and out the bottom of your feet. I release this energy and I replace it with love, right? Or you could say, stop, transform this energy into love. But do something to recognize and release it. Do not hold it.
Do not internalize the anger.
These
It will
next
eat at you.
few days between that energy Friday of the Scorpio new moon and this energy on Thursday reaching the pinnacle of 15 degrees Scorpio and all the other astrological configurations that could be an hour's show by itself, they are going to press you.
I'm going to press your buttons.
Stand up. Cover yourself in light. Transform things into light. Focus on love. Focus on peace. Focus on peace around you, within your home, within your community, and peace on earth.
Absolutely.
Let's come together in peace.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, if you need a bolt hole, our store is a wonderful place.
It's open 7 days.
Even if we're not open, just come and put your hands in the
salt.
salt, and just go woosah, let it go, and let the building. It's been doing this for years and years and years and years. More than a quarter century.
Yeah, a lot of people just come in to
It will
visit.
just give you a big hug. It will give you a big hug and say it's okay, it's okay, and that's why we are so privileged to have this beautiful place of safety and love. And and if anybody's out of sorts, and they always like somebody getting on their soapbox about things, I mean, we have this beautiful thing in the hall. I don't know if you guys have ever read it. It's by the side of our altar. It's against the wall just as you come in, and it says how to build a global community. And it's sage advice. It really is. And if people just did that, the world would be magnificent. It would be an incredible place to live, full of rich, diverse culture all over the place. Thank you so much, Sean, for love and peace. We honour that.
The world, we have enough. We have enough to help all of the hungry and all of the homeless and all of the ill. We have enough, but it's greed and power have sucked up so much that
It's literally seeped into the human consciousness, greed and power. And I made a little post. You don't find me very often on Facebook. I'm not some kind of like on social media all the time. So I apologise if people have like friended me and all that sort of stuff. Because
he's like,
once in a while I'll go, okay, I should probably friend this person. But I wrote, never confuse conservatism. Hey, let's lose that. It's only and from the printer. It's okay. Never confuse conservatism with the consolidation of wealth, power, and influence. And when you think about it, what's happened, and I mean, not to go harping back to it, but Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post, the second richest person in the entire world. And he promised the editorial board, because there was this huge pushback against selling the paper when he bought it, that he would never interfere with them editorial. And this week he did just that. When he told them they cannot post what they have done in every election since they've ever voiced their opinion.
An endorsement.
An endorsement of Kamala Harris. And he said, oh, no, you can't do that. You've got to be neutral. And no.
Same wacky friend posted the meme that said, oh, the Post won't endorse Harris. It's cool to back Trump. No. They were muzzled by a billionaire. Senior editor.
And the senior editor quit.
Stepped down, and 250,000 people canceled their subscriptions.
So the Washington Post...
But he doesn't care, because he got more money than God. But
the Washington Post was, in my mind, one of the last bastions of professional journalism, shall we say, that you couldn't buy.
Done.
But obviously you can. If you own the paper, you can exert editorial control. And I'm sorry, that's what I mean about consolidation of influence. When you tell the narrative, you can feed propaganda to people or
don't
suppress the truth.
Succumb
I'm not.
to the negative.
I'm not.
Take a deep breath.
Let it go.
Release it.
Mm-hmm.
Transmute it into love.
Mm-hmm.
Love, peace, joy. That's what
absolutely.
we're putting out there.
And that's what we're going to continue to put out there.
You know, a group mind of that could be very powerful, like an Operation Cone of Power. If we put out that energy of peace, love, kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Do not buy into the chaos. Don't let your narrative be changed by someone else's corruption.
It is. Yes, Luke. Feel the anger. That's my Emperor impersonation. Not very good. I apologise. But you know what it is.
It's funny. The other day I had a moment of weakness, and I was talking to one of my close little peeps, and I said, you know, it's really hard not to want to smote that effer. And she said, oh, you don't have to do that. You could just offer them the energy to follow their choice, right? Like, just instead of saying, you know, stop them or harm them in any way, you just put out to the universe that they will follow the path that they want to follow.
The falsehood will collapse under its own weight.
Yeah.
It will. And that'll be good. Kimberly says, I had a lot of anxiety about the election. I voted early, and the act of submitting my vote actually released most of my stress. Like ritual, physically doing the act transmuted my stress. Good for you. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
really important that we
Action is a good antidote.
We cannot
to stress.
feed the negative, and we got to get out there and vote. And again, if you know people that haven't, please, you know. But I'm predicting 360 or more electoral college votes for Kamala Harris. I think it's going to be right up there with Obama. A little bit ahead of Obama, but certainly not Reagan. Reagan had those landslides before we understood the greed and corruption of the Republican Party's transformation, right?
Wasn't he the one who stuffed income tax on Social Security?
Reagan taxed Social Security, and the interest rate was nearly 15%.
Nice.
Prime. People lost their homes because their mortgage payments went from like $1,500 to over $3,000 a month.
Well, it's probably
was
a lot
incredible.
less in the 80s, but I know what you mean. It was like
insane
insane amount of money.
It was
Yeah, and we should have learned by now, trickle-down economy doesn't work.
Anyway.
It doesn't work. Anyway.
Love and light.
Love and light.
That's what
love
we're
and
about.
Light. And take your friends to vote. Hold their hand.
When somebody spews crap, send them love. Mm-hmm. If you can't transform them, send them love. And, just let people follow the path they're on till they figure out that's not for them. Sean is first.
Well, I voted for the face-eating leopard party, and I don't understand why they ate my face.
Sean. Oh, this is the card that represents the sign of Cancer.
King of Cups.
What you tell yourself is really, really important.
Yes, it is.
All right? Sometimes we waver a little bit and we think, oh, I'm not worthy, or why am I here doing this? And they don't really want me to be here, and I'm not, and we give ourselves this crazy negative narrative. Remember when Cher slapped him and said, snap out of it? Slap yourself every once in a while. Snap out of it and refocus and know where you belong and know where you are loved and stop being negative to yourself.
Yep. Oh, I love this. There's such a weird dichotomy in this. This fellow appears to be seated on a concrete throne, which apparently floats. so interesting. Yeah. What garbage in, garbage out, mate. Yeah. This is. I know it's hard not to take past experiences and have them shape how it is you're thinking about current ones.
Oh, we always hold our past against our future.
Okay.
That's what we do, right? If you burnt yourself on the stove, you want to touch the stove again? No.
But be mindful. Be mindful. I'll cite the words of my grandfather, who I've never met, but hey up, lad, what they think's others think of thee's none of the bloody business, and you're probably wrong. What matters is what they think of the sen. All right?
And they turned that into a Facebook meme. Imagine that. Already. You're first for Cass.
Okay. Oh. You feel like you're on the outside looking in and unable to penetrate. There's this element of why me. I think we're picking up on all the zeitgeist of the stress that's out there right now, and I'm sure there's a shed load of it. So it's okay. Never forget who you are. Okay, this card is so similar in the underlying meaning of the previous one. It's about wearing the badges you think people should have you wear. And but no, but no.
Sometimes we can kind of feel like we're on the outside looking in, that our understanding or our thought process or our opinion is so different from those that are in there, But I think this week is about being true to yourself, even if you don't express to others what your truth is. And even if you work really hard not to challenge their truth. And maybe it's okay to be on the outside of it. Maybe you don't want to be in there if that's not your truth. So yeah, just have a little talk with yourself about your truth, your values, and how you really feel. And others can feel the way they want to feel. If you belong, that's great. And if they don't belong, then they don't belong.
I can tell by the way our view count just dropped off. They've thrown in adverts. We apologise if your reading has been adverted. Hopefully you regained the same.
Again, there's really nothing we can do, because if we turn off that, we will be lost in obscurity. As it is now, we maybe get 100 views per podcast over a month's time, but they won't show it to anybody if we don't play the game. Savannah! Ooh, magic.
As above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the song.
This card to me is about understanding you can overcome Groundhog Day. Right? Sometimes we get up, same situation, same things going on. We have to work and work and work. It's like getting up and pushing a brick, and all you see is the brick.
Sisyphus.
And you get up the next morning and you push the brick, and all you see is the brick. I think this is saying that pretty soon that weight's going to be lifted, and the brick's going to fall down the mountain, and you're going to be able to see again something other than the brick.
Yeah, what you focus on comes into focus, seriously. And if it's the brick that's in your way, the same classic rock brought to you every day by Sisyphus, yes. You don't have to play the game in the same way. Do you know what I mean there? You have an unfair advantage. You must realise that. And so it's okay for you to go completely off map. It is. It's okay for you to go off map. It's okay for you to bend the rules. Because what are rules? It's okay for you to do that. Just be mindful of what energies you are wielding, okay? And I say this as my sort of soapbox of ethics because I can't help myself. I always get on a soapbox about it. You're free to do exactly what you want, but you're not free of the consequences of those actions. And remember, integrity is what you do when nobody's watching. So I trust you to be of noble spirit whilst wielding this energy, okay?
And pushing your brick.
Yes, don't push the brick off the ledge onto somebody below, for example.
Even though they might deserve it.
If you understand, and I think you do.
All right. You're first for Laura.
All right, Laura. Oh. Boaz and Yakin, the pillars of severity and mercy. She is seated between them. And this veil that occludes what is behind her. So she's some kind of like custodian of that. She will answer the question, but you gotta ask the right question, okay? And things are not necessarily as they appear.
Nor are they otherwise.
Well, there is that. There is that. Come on, focus. We're doing a show here.
All right.
Yeah. Oh. I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
All right. Anytime we see a moon, we know there's a new phase starting. Well, there's the triple moon on her crown, and there's this big crescent moon down here. And this crescent moon to me looks a lot like the crescent moon at near Imbolc. That's that like cup or cauldron or pregnant energy, right? So there's some sort of idea or understanding or creative inspiration that you want to manifest. And it's really, really important to focus on what's in front of you, not what's behind you. What's behind you, let it be hidden. What's in front of you, let it flow. And work on that, and you'll come to a new place. I'm first for Logan.
Logan. Did you ever watch Logan's Run, Logan?
Maybe he's named after that. No, he's probably younger than that. All right.
Dystopian movie for you.
This card, if we had to pick one word for it, I would choose the word union. Right? Many times it's a coming together, a business partnership or a personal relationship or a relationship with deity, something like that. So I think for you, Logan, there's some sort of union. And for you, it might even be with the two sides of yourself.
Oh my.
Right? This part of you that honors and knows the good, and the part of you that still holds on to things that are not good. So there, I think there's some sort of coming together clearing, compromise, and union of self.
What I love particularly about this, and more of what she said, see this bloody great big bridge here? Bridge, avo ben byd bont. They would be a leader must first be a bridge. And it is necessary sometimes to bring things together, to bridge that gap. And bridges are amazing. They're liminal spaces. You know what I mean? And amazing things happen in liminal spaces. That's where magic abounds. It truly is. So keep on keeping on. You're doing all right. You're doing all right. You are moving definitely in the right direction. You know, you're not being subsumed by anybody or anything. This is like, if you choose to walk together, that's great. You know, it's a willing act. It's, you know, as is the case in the first and third branch of the Mabinogi. So we're getting all sorts of wonderful stuff here. All 3 branches. We could have gone to the 4th one as well, but never mind. What do you got?
All right.
You asked me this when we first met too. Oh, yeah.
I'm first for... Oh, did I just go first? Yes. So you're first for Helena.
Helena. You need to take care of you, okay? Sometimes I think your sleep patterns are not helpful right now. I think you're fretting too much, tossing and turning and all that kind of malarkey. It's hard when your mind is full of stuff to learn how to be peaceful, how to quiet your mind, and how to allow the good stuff just to permeate. And maybe an idea for you is to maybe just do something crazy, like get a pad by the side of your bed, and before you lay your head down at night, write down like one thing you feel that you did good about you in that day, something you like about you. And it doesn't have to be like this huge magnanimous gesture. It could be just something tiny, like I held the door for a complete stranger, I let somebody cut in line in front of me, I smiled at someone, you know, I made Joe laugh so much he nosed his coffee. It doesn't matter what, you know, but you write that down, and that's what you take with you when you go to other, when you sleep. That's what your mind processes, you know. And so it's bringing positive stuff into your psyche and taking it with you into other. And it should help you sleep better. And if you do wake up in a bit of a 2 and 8, you can always look at that pad and it will take you back to that place. And before you set out in the day, next day, have a look at that pad too. And I think this is really going to help you recover your self-esteem. You know what I mean?
I always point out this person is not dead, they're meditating. And their meditation is more like a prayer. Their hands are held in that kind of Reiki position. I'm going to say over these next few days, cover yourself in golden light. Stay connected to the angelic realm that you find protective and healing. And really, really focus on the positive things and being okay. Right? So prayer is asking, meditation is listening. Give yourself time for both of those things. Stay calm. Carry on. I am first for Kimberly.
Kimberly. Listen, there's a lot more of you watching than have mashed the like button. Could you remedy that, please? Do it now.
Kimberly. There is an offer here. Some sort of proposal. I feel that it has to do with business or finance. And I think it's going to be very, very positive for you. Like restores some sort of justice.
Nice. I note the grey oogie disappearing out the picture here. So I think something that has been burdening you or troubling you is saying goodbye now. It's leaving. And I see very much a replacing of that with you know, just simple little here. These are for you. You know, these flowers are for you. And yeah, bringing a great deal of like beauty and what's the word? Like release of pressure and release of the sort of the demons, if you will, are going. And kudos to you for that. I think it's a great... You're in a great place of recovery. You really are. And accept the accolades, you know, accept them. Don't deflect. Say, when somebody says, "Oh gosh, that shirt looks beautiful on you," just thank you very much. Not what this old thing,
Well, I think this is a theme, underlying theme for all of the cards that we've had here is learning how to accept good things, right? We don't even know how to take compliments, let alone accept energy. So, Cass, yes, you're right. Eagles are amazing. We have a mating pair that live in a big pine tree over in the cemetery across from where we live. And when they call to each other, it's really wild.
It's like weird chuttering.
Their chuttering is great, and they're amazing to see in flight. But yes, I think that there is going to be deep healing. And I think we all need to learn how to value ourselves and how to accept the energy of the value that others offer us.
There is a deep lesson there before we run on to the next one. I just want to share a little anecdote, if you will, which we're all kind of crap with. As spiritual people, we're very good at ignoring our own needs and ignoring our own value. I think is the word there. We deflect,
do make a difference, even if we don't think we do.
We do, and it's like, imagine, if you will, and I'll share this with you. Imagine, if you will, you have this very special friend. You love them to small pieces. They're a fabulous person, but they haven't got the most money in the world, and they've always wanted this, whatever it was, and so you think, well, you know what? I'd love to get it for them because I know it would make them really, really happy. But you haven't got all the money in the world, so you have to save up a little bit to get it. And finally the day comes and you go get it and you wrap it up and you take it to your friend and you present it to them. You go, hey, this is for you. And they go, oh, God, no, I couldn't. I can't take that from it. I can't. That's what we do to the universe all the bloody time. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of this. Come on. It's okay.
Say thank you.
Accept it. Take it. Eat the damn cupcake.
Right. All right, you're first for Anna Marie.
Anna Marie. Let's have a look. Oh. Just. What is just and right?
I see a contract.
Here's the thing, though. Just be open-eyed about it. They often say blind justice, and Themis is often shown as with a blindfold, certainly above the Old Bailey she is. But this person has got their eyes wide open. And they've also got this bloody great big blue crystal straight over their third eye. So when making judgment of a situation, when looking to perhaps administer restorative justice, use also your intuition.
I feel like this has to do with a contract that may not be exactly how you want it to be, but there'll be a big relief once you sign it. So I think it would be worth it to get just a little more clarity and legal advice and make the best of it. See what you can do to make the best of it. I'm not saying you have to settle for crap, but I'm saying that now might really be the time to just take the best deal you can get. Maybe you can't get any better, but make sure that is the legal consensus, and try not to be too frustrated.
Yeah, and don't let,
because Mercury retrograde's coming, and we know we don't like that.
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
All right, I'm first for Gilda, who said she'd like a health question.
Okay.
Oh, I think there may be a surgery involved. I'm sorry to say. Out of all the cards, this is the one that usually indicates a disruption or like an anesthesia or a surgery. So Gilda, if you're there, it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means sometimes in order to restore health or to have a cure, you need that surgery.
Yeah. It is necessary sometimes to address something, excise something, remove something, repair something. But it's okay.
Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
Ain't that the damn truth? You'll be okay.
And you're first for Jess, and that's the
Jess.
last one, and then we'll do
Well, it's
card
just
of
as
the
well because we. Oh, of course! I just finished writing the Hierophant like yesterday or whatever.
It's not finished with anything, but
Oh, it will never be. There's a
but the
point where
draft for class is finally done.
you have to stop at some point. You have to stop.
We keep going back, and
it's almost like every card you go back and you want to add more to it, and like you realise
this
that
book is going to be.
Steady on. There has to be a finite limit as to when to stop. Oh, Hiero. Secret.
Like hieroglyphics.
Like hieroglyphics. Secret occult symbolism, And Fant. To extol the virtues of, to exalt, to honour, to put on display for all to see. Interesting that. Puts the secrets on display for all to see, or does he honour? Does he, she, them, they, whoever the hell they are, do they want to honour the secretiveness of the secrets? They want to honour the occult of the occlusion or whatever, It's like, but in doing that, they're also spilling all of the beans in plain sight.
Only for those who can see.
If you can see, and that's the thing, you have to have the eyes to see, and it's obvious, and you can't unsee it when you see it. But it's you're so used to looking at it in the perspective you're looking at it. Sometimes you need to do something kind of radical to actually change your perspective. But when you see it, it's like, boom. Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Well, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
There is that.
Once you know it, you can't unknow it.
That is
and
it.
Once you know it, you're responsible for it.
That's the bugger.
That's my reading for you for this card. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you know it, you can't unknow it. And once you know it, you're responsible for it.
And right? What you do with it.
Yeah.
And what you do with it.
And the Hierophant is very similar to the High Priestess. They are a preacher of sorts.
Gilda, we just did yours before it.
Yep, you missed it. It was the Three of Swords, honey. Just go back a little bit.
Scroll back. You probably got bombed with an advert. I'm so sorry if that's happened. It's just so chuffing annoying. So, yeah. With great power comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're moving into your true power. Yep.
So just be mindful what you do with that knowledge. All right.
Dun, da, da. All right.
You must pick.
We know. We have a job, a mission.
A mission.
We know we are going to send positive energy to all of the people who are stressed out. We're going to send them love and happiness and joy. We're going to catch waves of this terrorist kind of feeling, this terrorism that's out there, this fear-mongering and meanness and ugliness. We're going to catch waves of it. Transmute, turn it into love. Let the excess flow out the soles of your feet. Don't hold it. Change it. Don't hold on to it. Don't buy into it. Right? Fill your space, fill your community, fill the world with love. Right? 1 and 1 is 10. We do this together. We can make a difference.
I see you no binary. Ha ha.
No.
Gilda, we did your card just before Jess, and where you're chiming in now. I don't know if you've got bombed with adverts and you're like time shifted or you've missed something. You may want to scroll back because we did do your card. I promise you.
You were after Anna Marie, who had the Justice card, and before Jess, who we just did. And this is card of the week.
Oh.
Well, I would say there's a lot of interesting things on this card, right? Leo is ruled by the sun, so the position of the sun is important. The sun is in Scorpio. This little black cat represents Venus. Venus is being in a position where it's opposing Jupiter. So Venus wants to expand and be joyful and communicate and do all these things. And Jupiter is going to retrograde. I couldn't even do all the astrology. I can't. Just know. Don't give in to corruption, right? Don't give in to showmanship and falsity,
Absolutely.
right? And do your research before you commit an act that you don't really want to do.
Yeah. Prudence. And again, I'm going to tell you...
Off with their heads.
No. Less prudery, more manner widden.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. This is hugely important, especially given the
Anxiety level.
zeitgeist right now, and the fact that there is so much ugliness being perpetrated upon us, so much derision and division. It is important that you attain the higher ground, and that you act with complete integrity.
Represent yourself
Yes.
in a positive light.
Do not go low. Do not steep to. Don't let somebody trigger the worst in you. We're all a heartbeat away from Nissian or Evnissian.
Right. This is back to what I was saying. Like, you desperately want to smote that person, but instead just wish that they get everything they deserve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's hard. It is hard when the world is screaming at you to be serene and disengaged and disaffected. That's difficult. That's spiritual mastery. None of us are there. I throw my toys out in the pram. She'll tell you. I do. But once you've thrown them out, this time ain't nobody going to pick them up for you.
See, Leo's also very dramatic.
No,
we don't want to give in to the drama. No more drama. No more chaos. No more fear. No more hatred. No. We can make a difference. Pray for peace. Send love. Hang in there. This next week. The new moon set everything off. And this 15-degree Scorpio, these next few days between now and Thursday are going to be extremely intense.
Breathe. Ground
yourself. Breathe. Mm-hmm. Put good out there.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for watching. All right. And if you came in late, it's a great show. Go back and start again. Because there is so much. Yeah, rights versus responsibility. Absolutely. What about my rights? What about my rights? What
Vote
about your
and believe in the
responsibilities?
good. Absolutely.
Yep. And we love you guys. We do.
Peace.
Thank you for joining us. We shall away and get on with it.
I even wore my heart shirt today.
Oh, it's a lunatic heart.
Yep.
A Luna heart. All right.
Peace, guys.
All right.
Stay well.
Be blessed. All right. 51 views. That's not bad.